Welcome to Student Chat Room. I'm your host, Scott Middleton, and today we'll be discussing stress and the college student. And for this discussion, I have three students with me today, and they are...
My name is Chris Collins. I am a freshman at Kirkwood studying psychology.
Hi, I'm Claire Kelly. I'm a freshman at Kirkwood.
Hey, I'm Tom Z, and I'm a sophomore in Kirkwood College.
According to a 2008 mental health study by the Associated Press and MTVU, 8 in 10 college students say they have sometimes or frequently experienced stress in their daily lives over the past 3 months. This is an increase of 20% from a survey 5 years ago. Chris, the question is, how in some ways do you keep from getting stressed?
I feel like with stress and the way that many students are dealing with stress, it's kind of hard to prevent stress because stress is caused by factors not planned or unpredictable things that come and occur. Some ways that I try to manage and limit stress is by having a calendar, having an idea of what I need to get done, and overcoming one of the most difficult things, which is procrastinating, and taking in that accountability for what if the unpredictable happened.
I kind of agree with it.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Yeah, and like the stress is not, as he said, is not like predictable. Like, so you will never know what's gonna happen when, and you just gotta deal with it as you go. Yep.
Yeah, and like for college students especially, assuming that most of them are graduating from high school and they're going off to live on their own, the transition from not having that financial support and not having that come home meal expected, you got to start, and just the transition to one life to the next is such a huge gap that it can cause so much stress, and that we don't necessarily build the right skill sets that are needed in order to become or go into the adult life.
Yeah, especially if you want to maintain between work and school.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And, you don't want to work too much, but,
And at the same time, you want to have enough money to pay your bills.
Yeah.
At the same time,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, now the other question I got for you guys, I'll throw this to Claire. How has stress affected your everyday life?
I would say that stress is like, it just changes how you want to do things because you have to think of like, well, I have to get this done first, and then figuring out like the work, school life balance, really.
Stress, I want to say I've gotten better in the way of dealing with stress. But, still get stressful, and there's still stressful situations. Like I said, that unpredictability is always a factor for why so many people get stressed out. And the way that I try to deal with stress is by living a healthy lifestyle as best as I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, and me also, like, it affects me in a ways that, like, I have to plan ahead, like, a week ahead. So, like, I'll be knowing, like, when I'm going to do when. And especially, like, with, like, my work schedule, it's kind of hard. But it's still, like, I have to get my school work done. And at the same time, picking up more hours at work. So, by doing that, I can have some, like, more, like, money and financial support for myself.
I feel like, at least this applies for me. I live in the right now moment. I don't make choices that will benefit me in the future, such as getting my homework done right now.
Right.
I'm like, I can hold it off because I want to go do this, or I want to go have fun, or I want free time, and I push that off. Like, that's easy and simple. It's going to take me an hour or 2 hours top, so I'll just push it off to the point where it's at the date. And I'm like, this is harder than I thought. I don't have time. I'm stressing out. It's taking me too long just to solve this or that. I'm just not going to do it at all.
And now you're losing points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're getting the cycle of it.
Yeah.
Okay, Tormed, would you say what type of stress does on your body? I mean, like the effects. Would you say it has on you?
All right. So stress, first of all, it doesn't make like it don't make you like think straight. All right. First of all, you will pick up bad habits, as smoking and like most of the like college students smoke, drink, and do those bad habits, and then that prevents you from like having a good lifestyle, which is like go to exercise and do all that. So by that happening, you won't exercise, and now you're gonna get fat because like you're not exercising, and you like having a bad eating like eating habits and junk food and all that.
If you kind of look at it in a way, stress is kind of like the main cause for a lot of problems. It's like a domino effect.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm so stressed out, I won't do my homework. Oh, I don't want to show up in class. You know, best advice that someone has given me is don't miss one day of class. You miss one day, it's going to become more than one day. And, you know, all because I didn't want to do the homework on time, I'm missing class. Or, you know, you stress eat, and when you're stress eating, you just eat junk food. You don't want to eat healthy food when you're stressed out.
Yep.
And all that junk food accumulates to the point where you're overweight or you're unhealthy.
Overweight, unhealthy, yep.
And you're like even more stressed out now because you're overweight and unhealthy because you didn't want to eat healthy at a point in time. Because, you know, honestly, I feel like we are becoming more, it's too much work or it's too hard. So what's the point of putting forth the effort of doing it?
Yeah.
Yep, I agree with that. I can relate.
Okay, this is for whoever decides I want to answer this first. What is the usual causes of stress in your life?
Let's see. I mean, just as of right now, in this moment, I would say a little bit of procrastinating schoolwork, you know, and working too. I work third shift especially, so you know.
Man.
Oh.
Yeah. And it's a good job, but it's not probably the best for a college student. And adapting to the sleeping schedule is difficult because, you know, a lot of people that have stress, I can guarantee, don't have a good sleeping habit. Because if you have at least a good 8 hours of sleep, it helps a lot with a lot of problems.
Yeah, for me, is the load of schoolwork, especially like for me, I'm going to full time, so trying to pick to maintain the schoolwork and the homeworks and in work schedule is like just kind of hard to do. So that's why you stress out and you're always late on things. Always late, like because you're thinking about doing one thing, and at the same time you're thinking about the one that comes after it, which is at the same, like sometimes will be at the same time. So you really need to maintain between them, and you can't do it.
And like one thing too about the schoolwork and the transitioning from high school to college is high school, you know, you're not even told, they read along with you of what the assignment is. You go through it in class, you know, you're basically taking your hand and you're around an amusement park and you're showing everything where it's at. While in college, it's like you're in the open now. You're told to read the assignments, but you're not forced to. And if you don't read the assignment, you don't get to turn it in late. It's gone. It's done. So for a lot of people transitioning, I feel like you got to learn and understand that it's up to you. You're responsible for your own actions.
Yep. I agree with that.
Okay, now one other question that I want to ask you guys is that what can a student do to relieve their stress to make sure that they don't have any stress in their life?
I think something I try to do to release stress, besides like listening to music, I always like to get my run in, because then you're just relieving like the stress from your body as you're just enjoying the outdoors, hopefully if it's nice out, and you're just like getting like all that energy out into putting into like let's have this good run. And plus, like, because when I looked up stress, it was like, I think why exercise helps so much is because stress is the body's way of responding to any kind of threat to response, and it's your body's way of protecting you. So then it kind of relaxes, like, you know, the cortisol and everything as you run it out or whatever. Yeah.
You mean to say exercising, right? In
Yeah.
general.
In general.
Yeah.
For me, it's running.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like the one thing that I had like tried to do is volunteering, to do like community work, just like to get my mind out of the stress that I'm at in my situation, and like even like exercise, as she said, like try to exercise more and more, so you won't. It's all about not thinking about the things that you like stress you out and plan ahead. Yeah, like plan you like at least a week ahead. So it doesn't matter if you like make it on time, or it just like it gives you an idea, general idea of what is your week going to look like. And
Yeah.
yep,
So, like,
Yeah.
what kind of stuff are you interested in volunteering?
whatever like me like the job that I do is like working with disabled people.
Oh,
So we
okay.
always
Yeah.
we always have some volunteering work going on. So it's just like fill up your time.
Oh, yeah,
and-
that's really nice.
That's really nice.
Working with disabled. Yeah, I used to work at a handicap development center before I moved here in Iowa City, and it gives you a new aspect and look on life. You know, working in their lives are in a way in your
it gives you a
hands.
new perspective
Yeah.
of life. Yeah.
And makes you more grateful for things. I feel like people that are stressed, if you can
People
like,
taking
wait-
things for granted,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
And it's easy to say than do. Everyone has their own problems. What one thing may be easy for someone may be difficult for another, and you shouldn't feel bad because someone's able to get through something easily. You have your own paths and trial and errors you have to face, and you should never look as success. You should enjoy your failures, because your failures tell you what you done wrong and what you need to correct,
Yeah.
or what you need to fix. And I feel like if we learn to not just accept failure, but learn from failure, it could relieve a lot of stress. If I learn that, okay, I didn't get this homework done, but what prevent that? And in a way, build a system around why I'm not getting this done. And, don't just quit cold turkey on doing something that if it's something bad, take little steps.
I
along the
totally
way.
agree.
And, just simple things like working out, you have 24 hours a day, 8 hours spent on sleeping, 8 hours or so is probably school, and probably 8 hours on work.
Yep.
And, try to find 30 minutes somewhere in between where you can just do a
Yeah,
little
30 minutes
workout.
is enough,
Yeah,
actually.
Yeah, 30 minutes is more than enough. You don't need to spend 2 to 3 hours in the gym.
No,
And
not 2 to 3.
This is more damaging to you than it is helpful. And, eating healthy, too, is a big factor. People say, oh, it's easy to just buy a pizza, or it's easy to do that. Yeah, it might be easy, but, do you want to live a life where everything is just easy, or do you want to work and learn towards something? Having that skill set to be able to cook, you got the
Yeah.
mindset of having something instantly there, such as instantly having food cooked in the microwave. Instead,
True.
take the 10, 20 minutes to cook, or, meal
Yeah.
prep. A popular thing right now is the meal prep. Sunday night, I'm pretty sure people have enough time on Saturday and Sunday.
Yep.
Although some like to say I don't have time while they're sitting around for 3 hours or, doing nothing. That time can be used to be
Like
planning
prep your
ahead.
meals.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the other thing is you can be positive. Like now, let's say like you sat down to doing homework and you couldn't do it. Don't just say, "Oh, I can't do it." Just leave it. No, try to do it. Be positive. Like always,
Yeah.
tell yourself that you can
Yeah.
do it. Yeah, like do more research. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yep. So don't but just give up on things and be like, "Oh, I can't do it." That means I just let it go. No.
Okay, I just want to say thank you guys for taking part in this chat, and just if you guys could just sum up real quick your ideas what students should do.
All right. One, you can be active, and second, avoid any unhealthy habits and contact with people as much as you can,
Yeah.
and just overall be positive.
Yeah, I'm with him. I think it's good to try to stay positive and stay healthy and exercise as well.
I think one note I would like to end off on is that you should, expect many failures throughout your life, and you should learn from those failures.
Big true.
And don't expect things to happen instantly. You're in a new world, and you're 8 months into school, and you're not doing as well as you thought. Well, of course, it's going to take a couple of years. It's not going to happen the next day. To quote someone whose name I can't recall at the moment, people want to get to the top of the mountain, but they just want to jump up there. They don't want to make the climb up to that mountain. The destination, the journey. It's part of the fun and the learning. And I feel like if we just take a moment, breathe a little, understand that everything won't work out. How you can sit down and plan the best calendar and schedule ever. I can promise you it's not going to work as perfectly as you might seem. Your car broke down.
True.
Let's take money out of your finances, which money you probably don't have, or savings. All these little things can happen out of the blue, and you got to learn to adapt to it and adjust to it. And if you learn how to do those little things, it will go a long way throughout your life. And just stay, like you said, stay positive.
Yeah. You always try to find alternative ways to make it work.
I just want to say thank you guys for being here again, and just want to thank you guys for listening to this podcast when it gets put up. Okay? And have a good day.